Welcome to the Missouri Wind and Solar Podcast. I'm your host, Wes Shank, coming to you from our store in Seymour, Missouri. Each week with my co-host and Missouri Wind and Solar's General Manager, David McDer, we discuss the latest on self-reliant energy. Check out our additional educational information, including dates for our hands-on workshops conducted in Seymour, on our website, windandsolar.com. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. So for today's subject, one of the things we always get just a great response from our client, from our listening base on, we're going to have a little bit discussion on batteries. And I know that's usually well received. The question we're going to talk about today is, if lithiums are the best, why do we even have these other batteries that we offer from time to time? But before we get started with that, we want to just let everybody know we've got the workshops available, and they're now going to be over at our new store. If you haven't already heard about that, we're moving down the street just a little bit, and we've got a brand new location, or brand new to us. It's on Killdeer here in Seymour. And this time, the October class isn't full, but it probably will be shortly, but that'll be the next class that's up. And we'd love to have you come out. So if you're interested, go to windandsolar.com and click on the workshop tab and sign up. So, all right, David, let's talk about that. So we all know, good Lord, it's in the news. Elon Musk and Tesla and
right,
blah, 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 blah. And lithium. Everybody knows lithium. You got lithium in your watch, lithium in your cell phone, lithium in the car. So if lithium's the best, why do we still have AGMs? Why do we still have lead acid? What do we got going on here?
Well, the reason that we continue to stock and carry the AGM and the flooded lead acid is a simple factor of sizing properly, and also then it goes to budget. Okay, so number one reason is budget. Somebody comes in and maybe they're like me, right? So at my home,
this is going to be easy.
My home, it's
is that incredibly cheap?
Yeah, that's right. And that is correct. So at my home, all I'm doing right now is one of my deals is my 24 by 30 shop. And when I say shop, it carries my lawnmower in it. It has my hand tools and my rakes and all the different stuff that I just don't want to put in my regular garage, right? And so in this, I just need lights. I need to be able to charge my DeWalt batteries. And I would like to, and it does have a portion of it that's a kennel for one of our dogs, one of our hunting dogs. And so it's been hot out, and during that time we turn a fan on for her. We plug it in and we let it, let the fan run for her to help her keep cool during these hot times. And so anyway, but with that, I could never see at the time when I put it in that we didn't even have the cells, and that will be something that's going to go away soon anyway on the lithium cells. But at the time, I couldn't foresee spending $2,500 for a lithium battery that I go to that shop and turn the lights on and stay out there. And the fan is the biggest draw I have on it, and it may run for 10 hours a day, but you're talking 20 days out of the year, and I couldn't see spending $2,500 to get the same result of two 12-volt lead acid batteries that I spent literally $180 each for them, $360. I can replace them a lot of times, in that same time frame, and then not have that, because I'm worried this is not a heated and cooled shop, so I can't use that lithium battery and charge it under 30 degrees, which it will get out there and get under 30 degrees. So anyway, that's one of the main reasons is budget and the application.
Well, let's talk about that for just a quick second. So some of our listeners may not know. So when we talk about the different types, so we've got flooded lead acid, which is the classic car battery.
Yeah.
Now, the ones we supply here are a little bit different. They're actually, ours would be more classified as a marine battery, right?
Marine battery. Yep.
And so it's a deep cycle.
Deep cycle, that's right.
And then AGMs, which are, I make sure I get this right, absorptive glass mat.
Absorbs glass mat, right. So basically a fiberglass blotting paper.
But it's still a lead acid, classified as lead acid. It's just incredibly stable and basically maintenance free.
Right.
I mean, they're commonly used in cell phone towers and some applications like that. And their big benefit, if I remember my classroom experience right, is they're a lot less impacted by temperature.
Correct.
Zero maintenance,
no off-gassing.
And seemed like there was they had a pretty varied voltage input range, wasn't it? That
yes. You can actually charge. It's kind of like with the lead acid, they can accept high voltage and for the charging.
And that's for both the lead acid and the lithium can't. And so that's why you have to have a different, you can only use MPPT with technology with the lithium. And then the standard lead acid, the big thing is they're cheap. They're cheap. But they're not maintenance free.
They're not maintenance free. They off gas. So
you have to be careful with them.
Right.
Even
they are spillable. You can actually turn them over and be spilled and things of that nature. So.
And I remember this about the lead acid. I'm trying to remember if it's the same thing. A charging or discharging mistake with lead acid can kill them
almost immediately.
Yeah. I mean, the day that you buy it, if you discharge, right?
Yeah, within the first week, you can kill a lead acid battery. I won't say that you'll kill it dead on the first day. Misusing them for 7 to 10 days in a row can lead to a total failure of the battery bank on a brand new battery bank within 7 to 10 days.
But in a lithium will not typically do that, right? Because
lithium,
if you think about a lithium,
especially if we're talking about a lithium that has the BMS already built in.
And if you think about the difference is, if like you were mentioning DeWalt, I'm a Milwaukee guy, but if you're running your electric screwdriver and it quits, You can't.
There's no.
It's over. And that's the BMS kicking in and saying, we're done and we're not going to do any more.
Right.
And whereas if you had the old style or it had a more of a lead type battery, you could wait a little bit and it would again and wait a little bit longer again. So that's some of the differences there we're talking about. But again, going back to our discussion, so cost is always a big one, right? I mean, that's kind of out on a list of 10, that's like 1 through 8.
That's 1 through 8.
Cost. But then really, and what's interesting, I don't know, did you see, so we're always looking for good new batteries. And I'll be the first one to say that, as we're always. I mean, battery technology is something we're always looking for. Well, I would say any technology, but particularly batteries one. And we're looking at a battery now, and I'm not going to say the name just yet because we're doing some investigation on it. And I don't know if you saw that where there was some discussion about that. Mm-hmm. That there is a lithium that we were looking at that has a built-in heater. Did you see that?
I didn't see the one with the heater. No.
Yeah. So one of the new batteries that we're looking at,
interesting,
has a heater built into it so that it takes care of that problem with it.
Yeah, because on lithium, the reason that would be, if you didn't catch it earlier in the podcast, the reason that would be so crucial for it to have a heater built in, most people are like, what would you need a heater for a battery? Lithiums,
here in August.
Lithiums cannot be charged under 32 degrees. So
and if you try, will it damage them?
It will damage them.
Okay.
I mean, it will damage them to the point that it will ruin the battery. So you cannot charge them under 32 degrees. That's if it's in a heated and cooled home, you don't have to worry about that.
Right. But if you got it out of
shop,
or a fence opener, or any number of outdoor applications, even like like we've got those little street lights that.
Yeah. And we have tons of people build, our customer base is so broad that it's hard to narrow down say, well, this group of people. But we have a lot of people that use these in off-grid cabins that they don't go to on a daily basis.
Right.
Well, if they're wanting to use lithium, maybe they do stay there 3 months, so they do want a really good battery bank while they're there. but maybe they leave Wisconsin when it gets cold and they forget, or just they want to keep something running in there, right? But they know in that home or in that cabin, it's going to get well under 32 degrees in there. The lithium, either you have to have a battery like the one we're looking at with the heater, or you can't have lithium. You have to go to an AGM or a flooded lead acid. And a flooded lead acid, I would be starting to get worried about. An AGM, not so much. An AGM, being as it's sealed, just through the charging, usually generates enough heat that you don't have any trouble with them. And flooded lead acid is pretty close to that, but they can, in extreme cold temperatures, they can't take the extreme cold like the AGM can. AGM can take up to negative 40 degrees, and most indoor facilities are not going to get negative 40. So
then if it is negative 40 in your building, that's at least your problem.
And the upper limit of them, they can actually go up to about 170 degrees. So let's say you have these confined in a small space. They would
almost last here in
Missouri
this month.
So if you're in an uncontrolled environment, being it's not going to have any heat or cooling, and you're going to have extremes on both sides, which would be Missouri. I mean, we can have extremes on both sides. Would be AGM is still kind of where we're going to push to. Whereas if you're just in a simple, cheap, hey, I just want to get something small for my fencer. I just don't need a lot. It will be outdoor. I mean, it'll kind of be out. We may be pushing you toward lead acid. I mean, so we have a lot of questions of, if lithium's the best, why don't you just quote me the best? And there again, it's all because of what you're going to use it for, and then the budget. And really a lot of it comes back down to budget. We have a lot of people that will start out with a fairly large system and start out still in the flooded lead acid and say, okay, once I've got to get going, I've got to get heat and air in this facility, and or got to get at least some air in this facility and some water. I'll start saving my money again, but at least I can run for the next 3 to 5 years with this battery bank that you've given me, and that'll give me time to save up for my lithium bank. And so that's why we do that. I mean, we would love for you to buy lithium if it's in the right category, because we know that's going to give you the greatest longevity of the system overall. But there's definitely still the place for it. And at this point, I don't foresee that going away anytime soon unless the lithium was to fall on its face as far as costing, and it's not going to. As a matter of fact, it's trending up. So as lithium mines are being purchased all over the world, you can expect for the price not to go down. It will, as more and more people pull out of it. And unfortunately, as more foreign governments and foreign get their hands on the lithium, they're not going to release it to us for the same money that we were getting before. It's going to just go up in price. And so anyway, so that's why we choose, and that's why we stock multiple different battery chemistries, being AGM, flooded lead acid, and lithium as well. So,
okay. All right. Anything else on that?
Nope.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you in Seymour and we'll workshop soon. Thanks a lot. Thank you for downloading and listening to the podcast today. If you have a question you'd like to hear us discuss on the podcast, or just want to say hello, email us at radio@windandsolar.com. As always, check out our store at windandsolar.com and buy some stuff. Your financial support underwrites our educational outreach, like the podcast, YouTube channel, and local STEM collaboration. It also keeps Lucy and her doggy chicken treats. Thanks again for listening.